Chapter 5. Graduation. Friday morning came and Joey was coming home today. I woke up drowsily this morning and felt drunk, or what I imagined being drunk might have felt like. It was only 6 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't remember the last time I'd gotten up before 8. I barely slept at all last night. I tossed, turned, and just kept waking up. It was how I slept the night before a big test. That silly neighbor of mine was playing their freaking flute all night again, and I was beyond anxious to see Joey. I am going to cook dinner, light my new candles, and have something stimulating on when he gets home. I planned on jumping his bones as soon as he walked through that damn door. I pulled pork chops out of the freezer and had an entire meal thought out, in my head. I made a mental note to run out and grab a new razor after breakfast so that I could do my everything shower. I stopped abruptly when I heard a loud knock at my door. Hannah was the only one who had my new address, and she would never stop by. At least not without calling first. I heard it again, and again. I walked slowly towards the door, trying not to make any sounds, and looked through the peephole. I swung the door open mindlessly in my delight, and I did not even consider my appearance. "Pop, what are you doing here? Why are you all spiffied up?"
Oh, I know I'm about 15 minutes early. I'm sorry, I just thought you'd be ready to go.
Ready to go? My confusion emanating.
To the graduation. Little Joe said he told you about it in a letter.
To Joey's graduation? We can go?
Yes, of course. That's why I'm here to bring you. May I come in?
Sorry, Pops. Yes, of course you can, I said, stepping out of the doorway. I just received all his letters at once yesterday, and I wasn't able to read them all yet, but I can be ready in 5 minutes, I reassured him.
It's fine, Sweet Pea. You have 20 minutes. Don't rush. Can I sit down?
Yes, please make yourself at home, I said, gesturing towards the new sofa and handing him the television remote. I only had 20 minutes to get ready to see Joey. I know I told Pops I could be ready in 5, but I was grossly exaggerating. I didn't have time to shower, and I really didn't need to since I'd washed my hair last night. It was deep conditioned and wrapped, so that I would look banging tonight. Well, I guess I need to look banging right now, I thought. Not taking a shower gave me an extra 12 or so minutes for something else. I really wish I had another razor to shave downstairs, but I didn't. I unraveled my hair from the no-heat curlers and was surprisingly impressed by how it turned out. It made my curls less kinky, and my hair dropped down over my shoulders, stopping right above my waist. I still needed an outfit, since what I'd been planning to wear when Joey got home was no longer appropriate. I went through my closet flustered and pulled out a couple different options. I'd tried on 3 outfits in 5 minutes and ended up choosing the first one I'd put on. I still had a few minutes left if my calculations were accurate and decided to spend the remainder putting on makeup. I was making every effort to impress today. I wore light makeup regularly, but when I saw Joey again, I wanted to look like an internet model. In minutes, I'd successfully transformed myself into an ancient goddess. My concealer was creaseless, my contour and highlight blended to perfection. My eyebrows were on fleek for real, and I had winged eyeliner sharp enough to kill.
Excuse me, Sweet Pea?
Pop said, knocking on the cracked bedroom door. "Oh, I'm done, Pop. I just gotta brush my teeth," I said, opening the door fully.
That's fine. Little Joe just called. He said he needed something out of the closet for the ceremony. Do you mind if I grab it now before I forget?
No, go ahead. I just need 1 more minute, promise, I said, opening the closet door for him and switching on the light. I brushed my teeth and sprayed my entire body down with my favorite perfume. I walked out, locked the door, and headed down the stairs, taking them 2 at a time. The drive was long and seemed more than a few hours. We stopped once for gas, and I realized I had to pee right after we pulled away, but I decided to hold it instead of being burdensome. My stomach started to cramp somewhere along the way, and I realized I didn't make a note on my phone when I started my period last month. Oh great. Joey will get home and I'll be bleeding. I rolled my eyes at Mother Nature's cruel sense of humor. When we got there, it took over 10 minutes just to enter the compound. We drove around for another 20 minutes, just trying to figure out where to go. Finally, we saw soldiers lined up in front of a building on our left side. I didn't see Joey right off, but we had to turn right to park. There was a a field adjacent to the building that we were getting directed into. I nearly jumped out while the car was still moving in my excitement. I really wanted to see Joey, and I really, really had to pee. There were people in uniforms ushering the families into the building when we walked up. "Excuse me, where is your restroom?"
The head is there on the left, ma'am.
The young man said, pointing down a narrow corridor. "Hey, Pop, I'm going to use the bathroom. Will you save me a seat?"
Sure thing, Sweet Pea.
He said, smiling. I walked into the brightly lit powder room and relieved my bladder. I walked over to the sink to wash my hands and caught a glimpse of myself in the full-length mirror. My hair was twisted back loosely in the front, leaving half of my stretched-out curls to fall over my shoulders. My black dress was beautifully showcasing every one of my curves. The gold embellishments matched the small, ornate clips in my hair. The dress had cupped sleeves and a sensual V-neck front. Aside from the thin, interlocking straps, my back was completely out. You couldn't tell, though, because my hair covered most of it. My dress had a hint of gold shimmer and dropped all the way down to my ankles. Two very sexy slits ran up each side of the skirt and left me feeling a tad bit exposed. All the black made my tanned skin and amber eyes pop. I wore pink nude lipstick, nude and gold strappy sandals, and nude nail polish. I heard some sort of trumpet far off as I washed my hands. Oh shoot, they're starting without me. I thought as I ran out to find Pop. I saw him looking around for me and waved. When I got to my seat, I sat down and listened to an older man in a military uniform give a speech. Pop and I were in the left section, third row back, and we could see everything clearly. The room went dark for a minute, and all you could hear was the sound of boots stomping in tandem. When the lights came back on, the basic training graduates were standing before us. I spotted Joey immediately, but we never made eye contact. He only looked forward. It was so cold that I was shivering, and I sat there wishing I'd brought a sweater. The ceremony went on for another 30 minutes or so, with more speeches from other military people. Joey and the rest of his class stood very still, like statues. It seemed like they spoke for hours, and I just stared at Joey, hoping he would look at me. I heard the man in front say Joey's name, and Pop started to clap. Joey was being recognized for something he did in basic training. Apparently, on a night mission, one of the guys got lost, and Joey went back for him without request. When they finished the story, Joey stepped forward, he shook the man's hand, and looked over to take a picture. I just sat there staring at the man I loved in his dark green suit and black bar. I couldn't help but notice that he looked different. He looked leaner, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about his face just wasn't the same. That was his nose, his plump lips that I loved to kiss, his perfect brows. But his eyes looked different. They looked a little cold. When I realized Joey was staring back at me, I felt a jolt. When he winked, it gave me the strangest sensation between my legs. When he looked away, I stood with the crowd, and we all clapped for my man. When they released Joey's class, everyone from the 2 rows in front of us walked towards their loved ones, including Pop's. I'd never been one for crowds, so I stood calmly in front of my seat and waited for them to dissipate. Once the hugs and shouts were over and I could see Joey, I will walk over, I thought. The waiting was unbearable. I felt someone touch my hair from behind me, and I heard a deep inhale. I looked up over my shoulder, and there stood Joey. I screamed, turned around to hug him, and squeezed as tightly as I could. He hugged back even harder and lifted me off the ground while I planted sloppy kisses all over his face. He set me down when Pop walked over and patted his back. They shook hands at first, then exchanged the briefest of hugs.
Good job, little Joe. I'm sorry, Private First Class Josiah Hunter.
Pop said with a smile.
Thanks for coming, Dad, and thanks for picking up Haley. It means a lot to me that both of you are here.
Joey pulled Pop close and whispered in his ear. Pop pulled something from his back pocket and handed it to him. In the blink of an eye, there was a crowd of people surrounding us, and Joey was down on one knee.